Hello everybody, welcome to lesson 6 by Holistic Learning Academy on Java Object-Oriented Programming. This lesson is a continuation of lesson 5 in which we saw some of the basic concepts of object-oriented programming. I'm just going to continue talking more about objects and all the other things that we are going to see. So let's begin. Now as you see, we are working with the fan objects last class. So what I'm saying here is, again, if you remember, these objects are created in the heap, right? Java garbage collectible heap. This is a fan object, and then I just have a fan reference here. So this is your reference variable, and you can think of these dots as essentially operations on your object. These are the methods. Now similarly, we were setting speed level. So speed levels of 0, 1, 2 and 3 are the valid range for this fan. So we could, when we invoke the set speed level method, then you can think of it as though we are turning the knob of this. So let's just look at the code for a moment and I will come back to the slides. So here we have our fan class again, and then we looked at encapsulation in the last class. So basically our understanding of encapsulation for now is you make all your instance variables or the fields as private variables, and then you provide public setter and getter methods to modify them, right? And we were looking at speed level, and then we were doing this consistency checks, and we saw all this in lesson 5, right? So we set speed level, and in this case we would be rejecting invalid speed levels, and then we will ourselves set it to 5, and then whenever increment speed level, we again need to validate that the increment is good, right? The fan is not already running full speed, so that's done here. So all these methods we already saw, and then we also restricted the number of blades, right? So this is our current fan method, fan class, sorry. So next, let's see. So what we have is, let's address some of the other problems. The first problem that we solved in the last class was encapsulation. We saw that we don't want anybody to be able to change these levels without this class itself controlling everything. The next point we are going to address is there are some more problems here. For example, if we see fan type, right? So this is currently a string, right? And how is fan type set? So we have a setter method here, as you can see, and then whatever string is passed, that's going to be fan type. Now, if somebody sets some arbitrary fan type that we have no idea what it is, or maybe they make a mistake, a typo, right, when they pass the string argument, then we are going to be in trouble, because we know that fan types, like we discussed in last class, could only be maybe ceiling fan, table fan, and so on, right? A few different types. So keeping this as string opens the door for a lot of inconsistency or data problem, right? And another issue we have is with speed level, right? Speed level is an int. Again, we made sure that whenever speed level is set, we check for consistency, but otherwise we have no control over this int value. So it would be better that rather than keeping speed level as int, we have a more strict check for this type, right? So you may think that, okay, if we don't want to use int, we may want to use just short, right? We already saw short type, which is a primitive, or you may want to use a byte. But even if we are going to use byte, it's still too large a range for the speed levels, because here if you see, we have speed levels accepted only from 0 to 10. As a matter of fact, here I believe there is a small problem, because if it should not be less than or equal to, it should be less than 0, right? Because speed level of 0 is essentially turning off the fan. Okay, so this was a small typo we made in the previous previous lecture itself, so I'm just correcting it here. So speed level of 0 is perfectly okay. All right, but still, even if I'm going to use a byte, right, I could have values up to 127, right? So I don't want all those values, I want to restrict it. And similarly, fan type, I don't want to use strings because they are arbitrary. Anybody can put any string inside this fan type. So this is where what are known as enumerations are very useful. Now what are enumerations, or for short they are called as enums. Okay, so better to use enums for fields which can take only fixed number of values. Okay, then forces values to be from the set. We'll just see what the set is, and then provides meaningful names. All right, so for example, speed level, you could just have public, just like you declare a class, you would just call public, and then you will say enum and the name of your enum. This is same as the name of your class. Enums are essentially syntactically equivalent to classes. Okay, syntax wise they are same as classes. This entire code will be inside speedlevel.java. Okay, and then here we are saying off, low, medium, high. Now what we are doing is speed level is going to be restricted to these 4 values. Similarly, we can also have fan type. Here you can see that we are using underscores to just separate the words, right? So you have ceiling fan, floor fan, table fan, and exhaust fan. So 4 different kinds of fan types. All right, so let's just make use of these enums here, right? So we don't want to have string for fan type, so I'm just going to go here and change and then declare an enum. So what do you do? Again, right click, new. Here you can see enum, right? So we just click this, and then enum is going to be fan type. And for now I'm just going to copy paste all these 4: ceiling fan, floor fan, table fan, and exhaust fan, and then put it here. Save this one. And similarly, I'm going to create a new enum called as speed level. All right, and let me just copy paste this one. Oops. Just click the wrong one there. All right, so let's just get going. Okay, so now I have speed level enum, and then we also have the fan type enum. So I go to fan, then now we are going to use, we need to change this string to fan type, right? Fan type is basically the enum that we are having here. See, this is a valid type. What do I mean by that? Okay, let me explain it with speed level. It's a bit easier to understand. I'm going to change this to speed level. By the way, this one you can do with control space, right? So when you do control space, it will auto-complete. Now what we have done is, this is an enum and this serves as the type, right? The speed level itself is a type, just like primitive types or like string. This has become a valid type. But then now we need to take care of few things, right? Because we have changed fan type from being a string to fan type. So this is going to fail because this is not going to be a string anymore, because this will return a fan type, right? So that way you fix that. Similarly, this set fan type is not a string anymore. Whoever is calling this has to supply a fan type, and then you can say this dot fan type equal to fan type. And similarly, this is going to be speed level, right? And whoever is calling the setter should set the speed level like this. But you see, now we don't need this at all. We don't need to do any consistency check. You can just get rid of this. Why? Because whoever is passing this can only pass these 4 values to the setter, right? So that way we have this issue. Now we come to more interesting things. We have increment speed level. This one, right? Previously we had int, so we could just increment and then nicely work with all this. But now we have a little problem, because how does the ordering work, right? As far as enums go, this is a bit complicated to do. What I would recommend us to do for now would be simply just do only increment by 1 level, right? So I am not going to take any more increment values. This is just to make our life simpler. Okay, so increment speed level is just going to increment it to the next level. Okay, I'm just changing this entire method. Okay, because we don't have int anymore, we have to deal with enums. So all I'm going to do is simply do if this dot speed level. I'm going to check one by one. You can just compare enums like you do primitives. So I'm checking this dot speed level equal to speed level dot off. This is how you compare enums. You can compare enums just like you compare primitives. We'll revisit this important concept later. But whenever I say this, it means that the current speed level, remember we are just changing this method, which means we want to increment it to the next level. If this speed level is off, then this speed level we are going to set it to the next higher level, which is what? Let's go here. Again, you can press here and then press F3. You would go to the class file. So after off is low, so I'm going to set it to speed level dot low. Okay, so that's easy, right? Else if this dot speed level equal to speed level dot low, then we can make it medium, right? So we make it medium again. So I just completed this. Now you see here, if speed level is off, we set it to low. If speed level is low, we set it to medium. If it is medium, you set it to high. But if it's already high, you can't increase the fan speed anymore. So you just print fan running at full speed, cannot increase speed anymore. So this is great. So we have the increment speed level is done now. At least it's a nice method. Whoever is going to call this should know that it will only increment the speed level by 1. Okay. And here is running. See, here it's giving you compile error because speed level is not an int. So all we are going to do here is we are going to say return this dot speed level, right? If it is not equal to off, then the fan is running, right? Okay. Now just to make it a bit nicer, we can use what is known as syntactic sugar. What is syntactic sugar? It simply means to make your code read nicely, you can add additional methods. So what I'm going to do is just copy here and I am going to say is turned off. Okay. Now is turned off is just the negation of this, right? So you can just return equal to off, right? So if it is off, obviously it's turned off. Fan is turned off, fan is running, right? Now we are doing 2 checks. Instead you can just reuse the method. For example, this method can reuse not is running, or this can use not is turned off. So you can just say, let's just do is turned off, right? So what does this method do? Whenever somebody calls is running, it will call is turned off. If it is not turned off, it is running, right? It's just a bit of syntax sugar, and then this method is also available. So your code will just read nicely. Rather than saying not fan is running, you can just say fan is turned off, right? Now we need to fix our client. Who's the client? The fan runner is the client, right? So we can't do this anymore, but now our code is going to be more robust because now the caller has to pass one of the 4 fan types. So I'm going to say fan type dot ceiling fan, right? Same way, speed level, we can't do -1 at all. So we just have to do one of the speed level enums, right? So I'm going to say, let's say medium, okay? We can't increment the speed level by 2 here. We just say increment speed level. So what do we expect here? So let's set the number of blades to maybe 3, okay? And then rest of the things are fine. Oscillating is going to be false, right? See, this is another thing we need to notice. It's a ceiling fan, so this field is not even applicable, right? Ceiling fans are not going to be oscillating. Here the client has to set oscillating to false. We'll see in a moment how to fix this problem. Okay, we'll come back to this. And then we are here having manufacturer model and then medium. Now fan is running. It should be running because it's set to medium. When we increment speed level, you remember you can again go here, press F3, you can go to this method. So this came back to our method. So medium, it has to set it to high, right? Like right here. And then it will print, it should print it's high. So let's just run it, right click, run as Java application. Good. So we see fan is running and then the current speed level is going to be high. Now if I try to do this one more time, what happens? Right, because it's already at high. Let's see what happens, whether this is good. So fan running at full speed, cannot increase speed anymore, and it's high. Just printed this, okay? So now we are good with enums, and our class is looking a whole lot better than before. Remember what we did? We just changed the fan type from string to fan type enum, and we changed the int speed level to speed level enum. And then we have nicer setter and getter methods now, and the clients cannot pass arbitrary values anymore, so we don't need to do all the consistency checks. This method is the only one which we gave up a little bit because you can't increment speed level by more than 1. You could in principle, then you need to check what the speed level is and then do this, so it will just become a bit more complicated, but otherwise this looks much nicer, right? Similarly here in the num blades, again you could do other things, right? You could set this to enums too, but for now let's just leave it as int because this will be something that the clients will hopefully set in a proper range, but we can have this consistency check. Okay, so let's just proceed with the slides now. What is the next thing we are going to study? So now we are going to look at fan class constructors. What are constructors, right? Now whenever we declared a fan, we declared a fan like this in the client. The fan runner had fan f equal to or fan equal to new fan. Now this, at this level, our fan has no blades or no type, right? So the caller has to set all these things like this, like what we did. Let's go back to the code again, and then what we did. So we were here, we said fan, and then numblade, ceiling fan, everything we set here. So let's just do the present here. So what if a caller forgets to set the number of blades or fan type? Should his fan not have blades or fan type? So you see there is a problem with the object creation. How to enforce that? Whenever an object is created, all the required fields are set. Okay, so that's what constructors are useful for. Okay, so you have to use constructors. Now let's see what we mean by constructors. Okay, so first thing we need to know is they look like this is a constructor. The constructor looks very much like a method, but remember here we don't return anything. Okay, and then the name of the constructor method is same as the class. See, this begins with an uppercase letter. That itself shows that this is probably not a method. This is a constructor. And then to the constructor you pass all the arguments, right? And whoever is calling your whoever wants to call the new on our object has to pass all these parameters, right? All these, the n blades and the f type and whatever else that the constructor is going to need to create the object. Okay, so now let's just go and do here to fan class we are going to provide a constructor, right? Now when we did new fan, what really was happening in the background? We said new fan, but there is no constructor we wrote here, right? We didn't write any constructor. So what's going on in the background is what we need to know. So that's what the next slide talks about. So the new fan is a call to a constructor. Whenever we say new fan here, right, this new fan calls a constructor, as a matter of fact, even though we didn't write it. Then who wrote it? The compiler wrote it for us. Now what the compiler does is, if we don't specify a constructor, the compiler will write this constructor for us. What is this constructor? I'm going to just type this the constructor public fan will just be this, right? Now we don't need to write this. This is a constructor. We don't need to write this one explicitly. The compiler will write it for us if we don't write it at the time of compilation. Okay, so now I can save this and I can come back and run here. This is going to be running exactly same as how it ran before. Okay, now, right, so same thing. This may look like magic to you, so let me just print something here. Sys out, I'm going to say in fan class constructor. Okay, so let's see if this is getting printed. Oops, I need to run this. So in fan class constructor, right? That's the first thing that happens. So whenever we say new fan, it came here and then it ran this, right? So if we did not write this, the compiler writes for us. For now, let's just delete this. Okay. And then we are going to enforce that anybody who creates a fan should know number of blades. Okay. I'm going to say n blades, and I am going to enforce them to send the fan type to me. Okay, let me just call it like this for sake of simplicity. Then I can say num blades equal to n blades, right? And fan type equal to f type. Okay, so those two are set. Okay, now inside I could also set other defaults. For example, I can just set speed level myself inside the constructor to off. Initially, when the fan is created, I am setting it to off if you don't specify anything to me, right? And then I could also set is oscillating equal to false. Okay, initially it will be false. Now even if we don't initialize here, by default, since it's a boolean field, it will be false, but to make it explicit is good. Now this is nice, but we got a problem in our client, the fan runner, because now I can't do this because there is no empty argument constructor. See, the moment we wrote one constructor here, which is not the empty argument default constructor. What is empty argument default constructor? This one, right? Public fan. If I just have this, this is the empty argument default constructor. Okay, so let me just type it. Empty argument default constructor, right? And if we write this constructor, the one that takes 2 arguments, then we also need to come and write this constructor because the compiler doesn't know. Okay, but if we want to enforce always that fans are created with the n blades and fan type, then we should not even provide this constructor. The only way the fan object can be constructed now is by passing n blades and fan type. Okay, now it's not as difficult as it looks because here we know the num blades, so we are just going to say 3 and we are going to say ceiling fan. Okay, and then we just delete these. Now it looks nice, right? Now it looks really nice because now we reduced 2 lines and then we are enforcing that the fan at the time of creation has blades and a type. Now we run this and then we get the same result as before. Okay. Now for clarity, if you want, you could go and print here whether it's being called or not, but it's obvious by now. Now what we may also want to do is, once this 3 and this fan type ceiling is set, we don't want anybody to change it. So for example, somebody may come here and then say f dot set num blades 4. But we are going to enforce, or even worse, somebody may come here and then say fan type is fan type dot exhaust fan. Now that's kind of meaningless because once a fan is created, you don't expect it to change the type. So we should essentially remove the 2 setter methods, right? So what we are going to do is, I'm going to look for set num blades, right? And I'm going to delete it because I don't want the number of blades to be changed after the object is created. And similarly, I'm going to delete this fan type, set fan type, right? So what happens now? Nobody can change the fan type or the speed level after the object is created, right? They can only change these other fields. As a matter of fact, you may also want this manufacturer and model to be specified whenever your object is created. Now if somebody wants to specify the manufacturer and model, we could also do that. Right, now the way to do that would be something like this. You specify one more constructor which takes more arguments. Okay, so what we are going to do is copy this and put it here, and I'm going to say, let's say string manufacturer, manufacturer and string model. Okay, now I'm going to say this dot manufacturer equal to manufacturer, this dot model equal to model. Okay, and then rest of the fields are set exactly like here. Now there is one little problem here, and this is a common problem that we may face in a lot of times in coding, especially when we copy paste. Whenever we copy paste, we are duplicating code, right? And I copy paste again. Initially my intent was only to get the constructor, so I don't want to type, but now I'm leaving duplicate code. There is code here and the same code is here. So is there any way I can reuse this method here, right? Or this constructor here? This is not a method, this is a constructor. Yes, there is, and all we need to do is call it with just simply this. Okay, now this means constructor. If I say something like this, if I just say, but then we don't have an empty argument constructor, we need to specify the n blades and the fan type. Okay, now there is a problem. Let's see. Constructor call must be the first statement in a constructor. So I can't do this after I have set these 2 fields. So what I should do is, first thing is I should put this here. Okay, why we need to do that? Because that is by rule Java enforces that any call to another constructor must be the first statement inside another constructor. It may be a bit confusing. So what happened was, initially I tried to set the manufacturer and model, but it said no, you can't do that. You first go and set the other constructor fields, whatever it is setting, and then come back and do whatever you want. Right? Is that clear? So what I did was, initially I put this here, right? And Java complained, so I hovered over it, said constructor call must be the first statement in a constructor. This constructor call is calling the first constructor that we have, so it should be the first statement. Okay, now this is very crucial, otherwise our code is not going to compile. Now people can either create the object with this constructor like we are doing here, or in our case, since we know the manufacturer and model, we can even take the manufacturer, put it here, and then the model and put it here. Okay, and then delete these two. We don't even need the oscillating. Only thing we needed to do was set the level to medium. That is the only thing the client is doing. Right now, everything else is specified at the time of object creation. Now, if you do not want to specify this constructor, just delete it. Then you can copy paste this one here, right? In which case, all creators of your object have to pass the manufacturer and model, right? Now, this is one way to do this. The other thing is, let's go back to our slide and see what we have here. So this is just talking about reusing the other constructor. Okay. Now this we already covered, the default value for instance variables. For integers, meaning byte, short, int and long, default value is 0, floating point is 0.0, boolean is false, and references is null. This we already covered in previous lecture. And then here I'm just talking about local variables, and let's just jump on to inheritance now. Okay, so we are now getting into object-oriented programming. Now what is inheritance? Okay, so we are going to study about that. That comes very much into this fan type business. Now we said here fan type, right? Now a better thing, rather than using enums, is to abstract it out into an object hierarchy. So what I mean by that is, let's just visit this enum. So is ceiling fan a fan? Of course it is a fan. Floor fan is a fan, table fan is a fan, and exhaust fan is a fan. Each one is a fan. Whenever there is an ISA relationship, it's better that we don't use this as a field, but rather we use object hierarchy. Okay, and remember we also said that for fan types, not all fan types have this is oscillating. This is relevant only for ceiling fans and it's relevant only for floor fans and table fans. The is oscillating is not applicable to ceiling fans and exhaust fans. Now how do I enforce that here? Somebody could as well just set oscillating to true for a ceiling fan, which won't make any sense, right? So what we need to do is just go and use object hierarchy. Now what is this? Here we have this parent class, which is the fan class, and then we need to abstract out the other fan types into their own classes. So here I have what is known as oscillating fan, okay, which is again subdivided as table fan and floor fan. These two can oscillate, and non-oscillating fan is ceiling fan and exhaust fan. So now I'm going to declare additional classes. This is a lot of fun because we are going to abstract things out. Okay, we're going to make our fan class even better. So what do we do next? We say, okay, I don't want fan type here, so I'm going to delete this for now, and I don't want is oscillating here too because I'm going to abstract this. Okay, So now we'll have a lot of compiler errors because 2 of the fields are gone, but it's nothing to worry about. I'm just going to come here and remove for now let's just remove the constructors. Okay, I'm just going to comment it out for now, and then I'm going to remove the getter and setter methods. Okay, so this one is gone, oscillating is gone. Okay, so we are good as far as compilation goes, and then of course this fan runner is going to have a problem because the constructor doesn't exist anymore. So I am just going to use this for now so that it compiles. Okay, now what we do is we are going to define new classes. So I'm going to create a new class called as oscillating fan. Okay, see here when we create in Java, it asks what is your name of the class, and after that it says who is the superclass. Here it has default object. You remember when we were doing this in the previous class, we said whenever we said f dot and then I pressed control space, I showed you a lot of methods here, right? Object that came from object, right? All these are coming from object. These are coming from object because object is the parent class for all Java classes. Okay, so similarly when I tried to create this new class here and I called it oscillating fan, it's saying superclass is object. But if I don't want to use object but one of my own classes, okay, so I'm going to just say here, let's see if this suggests OOP dot fan, right? So that's our class that we want to use as superclass, and I say okay. So OOP dot fan is added as the superclass. Inherited abstract methods, let's not worry about this for now. Constructors from superclass, we don't need to worry about this, so let's just say finish. What did Java do? It says extends fan. Now extends fan means this class is a subclass of fan. Okay, now here it didn't say anything. It didn't say extends object, right? We didn't get this when we created the class because default every class extends object. Okay, so we don't need this really. It's just in the background. In the hidden world, Java itself extended object and gave it to fan. But here oscillating fan, we are extending one of our own classes, which is different. It's not object, it's not java.lang.object, it's fan, which is our own class. So we got oscillating fan. Now inside oscillating fan, I can have a field whether it is oscillating or not. So similar to what we had before, I'm going to say private boolean is oscillating. Is oscillating. Okay, now you can also create constructors, getters and setters this way. You could go here, press 1, create getter and setter, and then it will say okay, and then you got getter and setter. Okay, and again notice for boolean fields, get is same as is. It just says is oscillating, not get oscillating. Okay, that's just for boolean fields. Okay, and then we have set oscillating and this one. Right, now can I access other fields that are in fan class inside here? Okay, so let's just try here if we can access anything else, like for example speed level. Can I access speed level here just for illustrating this? So can I say something like this dot speed level? Now I cannot, but can I do this dot get speed level? Maybe yes, that I am able to do. Okay, so when I set this dot speed level and directly try to access the field, Eclipse is not giving me anything. But then when I say this dot get speed level, it is giving me this. Now if I go and press F3 here, it is invoking the fan class get speed level method. Now how did this class know this speed level? Now if I did not have this, now it won't know what the speed level is, right? Because it doesn't have, nobody has implemented the speed level. I have to implement the speed level inside this class itself, right? Just like we did in fan. But since I am extending fan, it knows that this is the speed level. But why can't I access the field itself directly? Why can't I access the speed level inside this class? Wouldn't it be nice if I can access it? Now that's where we can look into access modifiers in a bit more detail. Now what are access modifiers? Here we said everything is private. All these fields are private. Now if we make them private, they are accessible only inside this class. Okay. But if I do not use private, I just do this. Okay. Now that means default access modifier. Now default access modifier means any code in this, any class in this package, this OOP is called a package. Inside this package, anybody can access this field directly. Now whether that is something you want to provide is up to you, whether anybody in the package can do. Now if you don't want to do that, but still want classes like this oscillating fan to use the speed level, right, because it is a subclass, we call this as a subclass of fan, or in other words, fan is a superclass of this. The other terminology is fan is parent class, oscillating fan is child class. Okay. Now if I make it, if I don't specify anything, it's default access modifier. Otherwise, if I only want this field to be accessible to its child classes, just go here and I can say protected. If I say protected, I can access the speed level field in my subclass, right? So now I can go here and say this dot speed level, right? Remember previously I could not do this. Okay. Now even if I had kept in this case as default, I would have been able to do this because these two classes are in the same package, right? Whenever they are in same package, I can access it. But I don't want, for example, fan runner to modify the field directly. So I am just going to keep it as protected. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to make all these as protected. Now whether you want to use protected or private is up to you. Okay, so for example, you could still keep these two private, which means none of the subclasses will have direct access to these fields. Okay, I'm keeping it as protected. Again, these maybe we are better off just keeping it as private itself or protected. It's up to you. But now we see the clear difference between these access modifiers. Okay, so I'm going to leave all these three as private and then give only this protected. But still all these subclasses can access the public methods, right? And of course protected methods. And if they are in the same package, they can also access default methods. Okay, same thing like fields. Okay. So let me just remove this for a moment. So now we got oscillating fan. Similarly, I can declare non-oscillating fan. Okay. Now non-oscillating fan is not going to have you can even do the extends fan here. You don't need to specify it at the time of object creation. Even if you say this, we are fine. But we don't need any extra fields in the non-oscillating fan. It is just more of a marker class. Marker class meaning it's not providing any additional fields or methods. It is just an abstract concept. Okay, but oscillating fan provides an extra field, right? Now I'm going to go here and then see that oscillating fan, we have table fan and floor fan extend oscillating fan. So I'm going to create a table fan. Okay, and this is going to extend OOP dot oscillating fan. Let me just copy this so that I can reuse this. So finish this. So this extends oscillating fan, which is table fan, and I am going to create another class, okay, which extends the oscillating fan, and it's the floor fan. Okay, so we got this. So similarly, we can do the other two classes which extend the non-oscillating fan. Okay, so now I got ceiling fan, which extends non-oscillating fan, exhaust fan extends non-oscillating fan again. So all these four different concrete classes. See, oscillating fan just provided extra field and then it is sitting here nicely for the object hierarchy, right? But there is nothing like an oscillating fan in physical world, right? It's just only an abstract concept that we want to use so that it's easier for our object hierarchy. Now, non-oscillating fans, we have ceiling fan and exhaust fans, but these don't have any additional fields. Okay. So I hope this is clear. So now we have to change our fan runner and we can't do this anymore, right? Because there is nothing like a fan. Now, how do I make sure that people can only create these actual physical fans? So I should not allow people to create something like new fan, for example. Sorry, let's just go back here. So we got fan runner. So I don't want people to be just creating new fans because I want to know at the time of creation what kind of fan it is. Okay, so that is one problem we need to address. And also we need to make sure our constructors are good. Okay, so what we mean by that we'll see. So we mentioned the term inheritance. What we mean by inheritance is very simple. Just that subclasses inherit fields and methods of superclasses. For example, here we got oscillating fan. This inherits all the methods. For example, everything in fan is available here. Whatever is public, protected and default is available here. Okay, and non-oscillating fan is same thing, and then it carries over. Whatever is there in oscillating fan is available for its children, which is floor fan, right? And then we have table fan. These two guys are oscillating fan. So they inherit everything that is there in oscillating fan, this class. Okay, so that's simple. Now let's just change our fan class a little bit, the fan runner class a little bit. Instead of declaring a new fan, we want concrete implementation. For example, I'm going to say not this, but I'm going to say something like table fan table fan is equal to new table fan. Can I do this? Okay, now remember we just saw constructors and of course I need to change all this F to table fan. So let me just find and replace all the F with table fan. Okay, just replace all the F dots with table fan dot so that now my code compiles. Now I have a table fan. I created a new table fan. Now you remember the constructor. If we don't specify in table fan, then it is going to come here. The compiler will write an empty argument constructor for us. Okay. Now there is also one more thing that happens here, which we'll see more explicitly once we put a constructor for fan. Okay, I'm going to say there is only going to be these two constructors for fan and not empty argument constructor. So if I uncomment all this, you can again press Control slash. So to press Control slash, you can comment all of them in block, or if you press again Control forward slash, it will uncomment. Okay. So we removed fan type, so that's good. We removed that, and then oscillating is gone too. Okay. So we have this. Now we have compile errors here and we have compile errors here. Why is that? That's because whenever I want to create any subclass, I should also be able to create the superclass. Because inside here, the compiler is writing something like this. Okay. It says public oscillating fan. This is what the compiler is writing behind the scenes. Okay. And then it says super. Okay. Now, what is the super? The super simply means go to fan class and invoke this constructor, right? But here we don't have an empty argument constructor. You remember we just told that if we do not specify empty argument constructor, then the compiler will write one for you, provided we don't have these guys. So if we don't have this, then this works, right? This is what the compiler was doing. We don't need to write this, right? So we can just as well delete this and everything is fine. Okay, but the moment we have these constructors here, all the subclasses can only use this constructor, which means we need to specify constructor here, and then this is going to invoke the super. What does this super do? Just going to go to the parent class and invoke a constructor, and here we have only these two constructors, so here we are forced to use the similar arguments. Now why is this useful? This is useful because even when you create an oscillating fan, you should want to create with these fields. So we just copy this and then we put this here, and then we say okay, n blades and then f type. Okay, so if we do this, we are fine, because now you can create an oscillating fan, but you need to pass these two, and then you can pass this to the parent constructor, class constructor. Okay, so that's how you can create this. Now similarly, we can copy this constructor to non-oscillating fan also. Same idea, except we need to change the name. Okay, we go here and then we do this. Now I can't do, the class name has to be the same, right? So this worked, but then we got a problem in all these four. Now what does this say? It says add constructor. I want a constructor because table fan extends oscillating fan, and I cannot create oscillating fan without specifying these two fields. So I need to create this. So I can just press Ctrl 1 on the red, and then I just add that. Easy, right? So we don't need to type this ourselves. So I'm going to go here, Ctrl 1, add constructor. So that's good. Then go here, Ctrl 1, add constructor. Then go here, Ctrl 1, add constructor. So we got all these set up. Now in fan runner, we have to specify the number of blades, and in table fan, if I go, I have to specify the number of blades and then the fan type. But remember, fan type was already gone. We have abstracted it out. So I'm going to go here and then just delete this and then delete this. It's just a cleanup that I forgot to do. So we can just do this. Right, so we are going to do that and then come here and clean up all these guys, because fan type, remember, that's why we abstracted it to methods. I forgot to remove this, so I'm going to remove all these. Okay, so I went into all these methods and then I made sure that all of them are using just this single argument, this constructor, right? So public fan n blades, right, and then n blades is specified, and then oscillating fan is having the single argument constructor. Non-oscillating fan has this, table fan has this, right, floor fan has this, all these guys have it. Now fan runner, we need to change it so that we just specify the number of blades, right? So if we just hover, it says add argument to match table fan int. So I just go here, of course table fan, let's give it some 4 blades, right? So we are good now, right? The code compiles, we can run this, everything should be fine. Okay, so all we have done here is we have made sure that we have an object hierarchy, and then we moved the isOscillating field into this oscillating fan class, and then non-oscillating fan is simply just a convenience class that we are using to abstract out the ceiling fan and the exhaust fan, which don't oscillate, right? Table fan and floor fan oscillate, so these two inherit the oscillating. So this way nobody can, for example, go to the fan runner, right, and then try to set, for table fan you try to set oscillating, right? You say table fan dot set oscillating, right? It's going to be there because table fan can be set to oscillating. But for example, let's say I have a ceiling fan here. Okay, so let me just to rename a variable, you can use this. This is called refactoring. Okay, first let me just rename this variable. Okay, or maybe before that, let me just change this name, ceiling fan. Okay, so ceiling fan is going to be ceiling fan of 4. Okay, but it's not a table fan anymore, so I'm going to rename this. For this you can press Alt Shift R. If you press Alt Shift R, it's going to change the name wherever this variable is used. It will change the names everywhere. Okay, so Alt Shift R, or you can, if you don't remember the command, you can always double click, right click, and then say refactor, then go here and then rename. It says Alt Shift R. So rename, I'm just going to rename this to ceiling fan. Okay, now I am trying to set ceiling fan oscillating equal to true. It doesn't even compile. Why? It says create this method. I don't even know. There is no method. Why is there no method? I go to ceiling fan. I see there is no method here. I go to non-oscillating fan. It doesn't even have anything. Fan also doesn't have is oscillating, right? Now here we have implicitly enforced, and this is a much better design because ceiling fans cannot be oscillating fans. Similarly, if you try to do exhaust fan, there is no oscillation, but for floor fans and for table fans we can have oscillations, right? So that way we enforced that only the types that are applicable can use the fields. So now we have a much better design. Okay, so let's just move on a little bit, right? So we have seen all this, right? We saw that if we don't write ourselves, the super, right, is returned to us by the constructor. Okay, and one more thing that we can do here is we can go to oscillating fan. Instead of just accepting num blades, we can also set is oscillating here, which is what this slide is telling, right? So for example, we could go here and then we can add boolean is oscillating. Okay, and then we can say this dot is oscillating equal to is oscillating. Okay, so this way we are also setting the field, but then the moment we keep this as our constructor, then we need to override here too. So let's provide another one constructor here. So I'm going to say public oscillating fan int n blades. Somebody just calls me, one of my subclasses calls this constructor. I'm going to say this n blades and false. Okay, so now if I say this, whenever the floor fan is going to call this super, it will go to oscillating fan. Let's just go here and press F3, and it is calling this one constructor for oscillating fan. So the oscillating fan constructor goes here, n blades and then false. So it goes here, super n blades, which comes to fan class, sets it, and then it comes back, it sets oscillating, and then it returns. Okay, now similar to a constructor call should be the first call within another constructor, super should be the first one if it exists in a constructor too. So I can't do this. For example, I can't set oscillating and then do super. Okay, it will say this should be the first statement. Okay, so it can't even do any suggestions. So you can remember always, you can press Control 1 to see what the problem it is. Control 1 will tell you what it is. If it can't say anything, it will just say this. But we know now super and call to other, basically all constructor calls should be the first one within constructor. Super is a constructor call for the parent class. Similarly, this is also a constructor call for the same class. So that is what this slide is telling here essentially. Okay. Now we are going to next move on to method overriding. Okay, now this class I will stop for now here, since I believe we are already an hour into the class. In next class we will talk about method overriding, and then we will also talk about polymorphism. So in this class we just saw only inheritance. Next class we will study method overriding and polymorphism. So with that, I'm going to conclude the class for today. So I'll see you in the next lecture.